Dr. Huebner here, Natural Transplants. So I wanted to talk to everyone about FUE versus the HUE. So FUE stands for Follicular Unit Extraction. It's a way of extraction that will basically take tiny punches from the back of the head. You may have seen these in airline magazine ads, all kind of marketing that goes around FUE. And the only benefit of FUE is that you don't have a linear scar. So they'll show a guy with a popsicle stick wide scar in the back and say, you don't want this, get the newest, the latest, the greatest, FUE. And we could either do it by hand or we can do it with a robot. And I wanted to talk to you about that versus what we do, which is called the HUE, or high yield unit extraction, which is basically a take on the traditional strip method, okay? So here's the major differences. Number one, the amount of hairs moved. You can only achieve, at most, maybe 2,500 to 3,000 grafts with an FUE session. That's just because it takes a lot of time, usually by a technician, but should be by the doctor, but it takes all day because you're doing them individually. You can imagine how long it would take anybody to do 3,000 punches. And it's not just the punch, then once the punch is made, you have to extract the follicle and make sure it's a viable follicle and implant the hair as well. So that's a 12-hour day to get 3,000 hairs. And the reason why it's only so many a small number of hairs, even though it's a large number of grafts, is because there's a limit on how big an FUE punch can be. That's the whole reason that people go for it, because they don't want to have a big linear scar. But you can only get grafts that maybe have 1 or 2 hairs, and that will give you a limited amount of density, and overall the results are not what they should be. And that's why we see a lot of patients that have had FUE at other places come back and have a traditional strip method. So that's the major difference in terms of the amount of grafts and the amount of tissue that you can move. Secondly, the types of grafts. So as I talked about, 1 and 2 hair grafts with the FUE versus anywhere from 4 to 6 hairs with an HUE, or strip method process. So you're going to get bigger grafts, which when they're used in the right places, not everywhere, but in the right places, can maximize your density. You're going to get much more density than you're going to get with FUE. And lastly, everyone talks about doing FUE because they don't want that big scar. And I would encourage you to take a look at our photos, take a look at our videos. Not all doctors are equal when it comes to scars. In fact, some doctors don't even do their own closures. They have the technicians do it because they're doing multiple patients in a day. So if you look at our work, we take a lot of pride in our closure. We take a lot of pride in our scars. We guarantee the scar won't be an issue for someone that at least has their hair to a 2-guard or 3-guard. So these are the kind of things that separate us from some of the other guys out there that produce big scars on the back of the head. I encourage you, I try to show scar videos and photos as much as we possibly can, but you'll see that it really isn't an issue. And now you're not trashing your donor, because FUE will use the entire width of your donor and scar it up with all these little circles. In contrast, HUE will give you a small, linear scar about the width of a pen if you drew a line. And now if you ever need a second, third, fourth procedure in the future, you're not trashing your donor. You can go right above or right below. That tissue is unscarred, untouched, and you can get another 6,000 to 10,000 hairs with every session that you do. If you have any questions about how HUE differs from FUE, please give us a call, 844-327-4247. I could talk all day about this. This really gets me fired up, and I get passionate about this topic. But we'd love to see you. Please subscribe to our YouTube video for updates, our YouTube channel rather, and hope to hear from you soon. Thanks. Call us now, 844-327-4247, and ask about our HUE and HUE Plus procedures, which move more hair than ever before. Hope to hear from you soon.